So, if there are things that you want that are different than what you've got, you have to tune yourself differently. And the best way we know to tune yourself to something differently is to talk about what you want and why you want it. When you talk about what you want and how you'll get it and when it will come and where it will come from and who will bring it, it usually causes you to get into a more resistant place. But when you talk about what you want and why you want it, usually you can step back far enough to get into the essence of what you're reaching for. And with far less effort than it takes you to learn how to play Quicken on your computer, far less effort than any computer game or program, you can tune yourself, if you care about how you feel, into vibrational alignment with who you are. But these things you must understand first. You must first understand that the source within you, the source that is you, is pure positive energy. In other words, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, feeling good, liquid love. And when you tune yourself to something other than that, then you're out on the raw and ragged edge. Some call it the leading edge, others call it the bleeding edge. You're out there where you are vibrationally so far apart from who you really are. And this is the thing we so want you to hear. If you get this, we'll speak it clearly and slowly, and again until you have a very good opportunity to get it if you want to get it. We want you to understand why you feel what you feel. We want you to understand what your emotions mean to you. We want you to understand that you are the creator of your own reality, and that life has caused you to expand into new places that if you don't go, you don't feel good. In other words, when life causes you to ask for something that you're not currently living, the source within you follows that rocket of desire and literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you are asking for. And many of you who are looking for manifestation say, well, that's not really a big deal to us because we can't pay the rent with vibration. And we say, you could if you'd flow with it long enough that you'd let it manifest into something tangible. But what happens so often is, even though you're on the track because you're feeling hopeful, and even though you're on the track and things are lined up ready to be yielded to you, if you are insisting on the manifestation first before you believe it, then you keep looking and not finding it, and then in the not finding it, you find vibrational alignment with the absence of it, and you cannot find vibrational alignment with the absence of something and get the presence of it. Law of attraction does not allow it. You must find vibrational alignment with what you want. Now, many say, easier said than done, and we don't disagree with that. We know that when you've been beating the drum, you learned it from your mother, you observe it in your environment, you talk about it with each other. Your own life experience gives you the evidence. It's such an interesting thing. You say, I believe this because it is. And we say, it is because you believe it. And you say, no. It was before I even knew about it, and when I gave my attention to it, it was already there, and of course I believed it. I've been collecting the facts and the evidence of life for a long time. I've been a truth seeker, and I see the evidence. I see true things all around me. And we say, yes, you do. But what you are seeing, as you're looking at all of these true things, you are seeing the evidence of the way someone flowed energy. Because whatever you give your attention to long enough becomes a reality. And so, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not be so interested in finding and quoting and stating and repeating the truth of things while we understand why you might want to, because there are so many things that are true that you don't want to live. And there are so many things that are true that you do want to live. And there are so many things that are true that you do not want to support and add power to. And there are so many things that are true that you do want to support and add power to. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, the criteria for that which we give our attention to would not be the truth of it. It would be the feeling of it. Because when you reach for the feeling of it, you will find which things you give your attention to that are absent of the source within you. And you will find which things you give your attention to that are full of the source within you. When you look at the face of a child and you feel that love flowing through you so much that you can barely keep yourself from sweeping the child up in your arms and absorbing them into your being, that means you are a vibrational match, a perfect vibrational match to the source within you. You are one and the same. There is no separation between you and you. You are up to speed with the fullness of who you are, and you are flooding the power of that source energy all over the environment in which you are focused. But if you are giving your attention to the truth of something, and it causes you to double over in discomfort as you want to close your eyes from it, as you feel the fear that washes through you, or the sorrow, or the sadness, or the anger, or the despair, or the depression, as you feel that negative emotion within you as you give your attention to it, that is your indicator that you, while you have the free will to give your attention to whatever you choose, it is right that it is that way. You have chosen something so separate from that which the source within you looks at that you have effected a temporary separation between you and you. Not to worry, though, because when you croak, that separation will cease. In other words, when you withdraw your attention from this time-space reality and you re-emerge into non-physical, who you really are will be the dominance of your vibration, and you will again regain the fullness of who you are. We come forth because you've asked us to, and we don't think you should have to wait until you croak to really be who you are. We think that you should be able to be source energy and send a part of that energy into this body, and that in this body, in this personality, you should be able to sift and sort and know what you don't want and know what you do want, and that you should build as you are building a vibrational escrow. You are expanding as that source energy being, expanding all day, every day. And the source, who remains non-physically focused, rides your rocket of desire and holds to that vibration, never again turning attention to where you've been that made you want it, but only giving undivided attention to the expanded part of you. And when you find some reason, some excuse, some feeling that causes you to then turn and give your undivided attention to what you're asking for, rather than the need that has caused you to ask, to look in the direction of the solution rather than beating the drum of the problem, to look for the idea of the answer or the cure rather than beating the drum of the illness or the problem or the question. When you start feeling your way, when you feel your way by caring about how you feel and you begin to tune to the source within you, what happens is you become that source energy being here in this physical body, and then and only then do you even begin to be what you intended to be when you decided to come forth to begin with. Not one of you said, I'll go forth, pinch myself off from source, bang around. Not one of you said that. Not one of you said, I'll suffer and it will be really hard. And then they'll make monuments about me. Not one of you said that. Not one of you. You did not say, I'll go forth and separate myself. You said, I'll go forth and life will cause me to expand. And when the expansion occurs, which is the idea, which is the desire, which is the basis of all the eternalness that we are, you know that contrast that you don't like? It's the stuff that puts the eternalness in eternity. That contrast that you often would like to do without, that's the stuff that causes the expansion. That's the stuff that makes us all continue to be. And the advantage that we have when you explore contrast is that we ride the rocket of expansion and we explore vibrationally all of the options. And we hold attention to that object of attention, and as law of attraction begins to respond to that which you have given birth to, all things that benefit it, that are part of it, begin to come to it. You are just the last holdout. Because often, while you want it, and while you gave birth to it, and while it belongs to you, and while you are the creator of it, you don't find vibrational alignment with it. And when you don't, you feel the negative emotion. And so it is fair and accurate to say that every negative emotion you feel, without exception, is because life has caused you to become something that your current attention is not letting you fully become. In other words, you're not keeping up with you. And then, when you don't keep up with you, it's so easy to say, well, it's because of what that one's doing. When I look at that one, I feel good. But when I look at that one, I feel bad. And if you would be more like that, then I would feel better. And so you are the reason that I don't feel good. And then you get off on this tangent. You're sort of crazy about it, where you try to control the world. You try to get other people to behave the way you think you need them to behave so that you can feel better. And while we acknowledge good-feeling people do make you feel good, it's not their job to be good so that you can feel good. It's your job to tune yourself to what causes you to feel good. And do you see how much simpler that would be? As you move up the scale, you feel revenge or rage or anger. And as you continue to move up, you begin to feel pessimism, maybe even hopefulness, optimism, belief, and then finally knowing. The thing that we most want you to hear is that when you make the effort to move in the direction of Source, you feel increasingly better. And the most important thing that we want you to hear, that we do not think you are quite hearing yet, is that once life has caused you to become this, that part of you, which, friends, is far and away the largest part of you, it is the dominant part of you, it is a Source energy part of you, that part of you who has become more because of your exposure to contrast is now calling you toward allowing yourself to fully recognize what you have defined through your contrasting experience that you prefer. Source is calling you. And when you answer the call of Source, you have improvement in the way you feel. When you hear Source saying, come this way, we want you to understand that it is you using your guidance system and moving in the direction of becoming who you really are. We also want you to understand that very often when you are in a fit of anger, you are not doing something wrong. You're on your way to who you are. In other words, do you understand that if you're in despair, Source is calling you toward your bliss, toward your joy. But if you're in despair, you can't hear the blissful call. So do you know what call you're hearing? The angry call. But it's still Source. It's still Source saying anger is a step in the right direction toward the frustration, which is an even stronger step in the right direction, to hoping, which is an even stronger step in the right direction, to believing, which is an even stronger step in the right direction, to knowing, which is there, you see. We see you. You are teachers to the very core of your being. Room full of teachers. That's what this family of Abraham is really all about. And we see you, even though most of you who come to these gatherings, the low end of your scale averages around overwhelmment and frustration. And the high end of your scale is up there in bliss and joy and appreciation. And you don't move much below that very often. You can, but you don't stay there long. And so, for most of you, it's very easy for you to dive into one of the processes that we or someone has offered that helps you to move easily up the emotional scale as you leave resistance behind. But you are teachers sometimes of people who are nowhere near frustration. They'd give anything to have a life like that. They are in deep despair. They're in fear. They're in trauma. They truly feel as if they're victims. And so, we're wanting to give you some insight into how to coach some of these people up the emotional scale. And the most important thing that we want to say to anyone who is in a place other than where they want to be is, you've got to let your first intention be to make peace with where you are. Because if you are standing in a place of despair or anger or not enough money or any situation that is not pleasing you, and you are beating up on yourself for not doing better, you are clearly focused in the opposite direction, because when you beat up on yourself, your disrespect for yourself is the most pressing, dominant, and destructive, out of alignment thing that you could do, because your Source, who is within you, adores you. And when you do not adore you, you are out of whack. That Source that is within you knows your value, and when you do not, you're out of whack. That Source that is within you is so confident of the perfection of your beingness that when you ask, it is given. Source does not say, well, now let's think this over. You might not be asking for the right thing. Source knows that nobody could ask better than you. We all are wired for cooperative independence. And by that we mean you are so free you can choose bondage. But you are the creator of your own reality. Nobody else is. And it is a personal, very individual determination to make your deliberate trek up this emotional scale that will bring you into the power that you were born with and into the power that is natural to you.